Hi everyone. I would like to start the session by congratulating and appreciating all the mothers right there. Through the session today, we will acknowledge and celebrate all the love, dedication, tireless efforts you pour in your roles as mothers and nurturers and caregivers. Hi, I'm Dr. Ashima Narula, psychologist and expressive art-based therapist, and I'm grateful to be part of this Mother's Day campaign organized by SOLH Wellness. We all know and acknowledge the beauty of motherhood, don't we? We know that the journey is filled with love, joyful moments, compassion, unconditional love, sacrifice. All of us know about this. But what about the difficult side of motherhood? Who is going to talk about that? Or should I say the ugly side of motherhood? Yes, there's an ugly side to motherhood as well. Or should I say a danger of mommy burnout? We mothers usually don't want to acknowledge or feel more comfortable escaping from understanding. We are always escaping from, and we are not sitting with our emotions, with our thoughts and the void inside us. We don't acknowledge and accept that it's okay for us to get tired as well. We feel saturated, we feel exhausted taking care of our children, of household, of family responsibilities and whatnot. Moreover, there are so many unsaid responsibilities that come along. And we are always ready to take the charge for our physical health, always. We cannot afford to fall sick. Why? Because then who is going to take care of her work? Who is going to drop my child to the school? Who is going to pack the lunch? Who is going to clean the house? Who is going to deal with the tantrums of the husband? A mild headache and we are all ready to pop the medicine. But when it comes to mental health, when it comes to distress, when it comes to mental exhaustion, anxiety, depressive symptoms, isolation, crying spells, what majority of us do? We avoid, we escape from those emotions, from those thoughts by distracting ourselves. Let me tell you something very interesting here. Suppressing emotions or distracting our minds as a means of avoiding problems can indeed lead to unconscious suppression of emotions. While distraction technique can provide temporary relief or recede from challenging emotions or situations, they do not address the underlying issue at hand. Instead, they may contribute to the accumulation of unresolved emotions, potentially leading to increased stress, anxiety, long-term negative effects on mental health. Acknowledging and addressing the problems as well as allowing yourselves to experience and process emotions is essential for our overall well-being. By acknowledging our emotions, we validate our experiences and give ourselves the opportunity to understand and cope with them in a healthier manner. It allows us to identify any patterns or triggers that may be contributing to our emotional state and take appropriate actions to address them. Now, here comes the interesting part. The theme for today's workshop, Motherhood in Colors. Usually we don't seek mental health assistance because we lack time, or we are so overburdened with responsibilities, or we feel tired even on thinking about, discussing and renting out our problems and thoughts and feelings, right? Art therapy can be a wonderful tool for mothers to explore their emotions, relieve stress and enhance your well-being. Engaging in art making can provide a creative outlet for self-expressions and self-care. Art therapy is a scientific form of psychotherapy that helps in addressing various mental health issues. It helps in self-discovery and reflection. It enhances self-esteem, self-confidence, motivates you, and it is a good process for healing and trauma. And it is a great way of indulging in self-care through the use of various art mediums like painting, colors, drawing, sculpting, claying, etc., embroidery. I'm going to today teach you 2 techniques that are based on art therapy which you can practice at home regularly. These techniques would help you deal with stress, everyday chaos, hassles, relax your mind and give yourself some peace. So let's get started. To begin with, you would be needing some non-toxic paints or food color to prepare the ice cubes, a cup or bowl to hold the ice for the ice painting, and a surface to work such as a canvas, white cloth or a paper. Before we begin, close your eyes, take a deep breath and exhale. Repeat it 2 to 3 times. Sit with yourself with your eyes closed or open in a comfortable position. Sit with all the thoughts which are coming in your mind, worries, tensions, anything. Don't try to avoid these thoughts and try to acknowledge them and face them. Now pick up the ice cubes and let all the worries, fears, thoughts felt on the paper, let them flow on the paper or the canvas. Experiment with different techniques like dripping or just moving the ice cubes through. Let them flow. Observe the changing pattern and textures that emerge as ice melts. Allow yourself to be fully present in the process and engage with the sensory experience. See how cold the ice is. Are you able to hold the ice or not? Pay attention to the colors which are blending and spreading on the paper. If you're using a colored paper, see what color comes out, what is the new color, how is the texture of the paper. Feel the temperature of the ice on your hands, how the temperature is changing when it's dripping on the paper and melting away. You can use many colors as possible, or whichever color you wish to, or you can also use plain ice, white, transparent, and then you can pour colors separately as well. Make whatever artwork you wish to, or if you just want to scribble, you can scribble. That's completely your choice. There's no fixed pattern of how we go about ice painting. Once you're done, take a moment to reflect on the artwork which you have created, or keep scribbling if you want to do it more, if you're enjoying, or if you're feeling relaxed. And probably it might be possible that you're not feeling anything and you're just going with the process. You don't want to think anything, so just go with the process. See how do you feel. Do not force yourself to think anything. And once you're done, consider the thoughts, emotions, or memories that may arise as you observe the melting ice and colors on your surface. Use this time for introspection and self-reflection. See what emotions did you experience while you were engaging in this activity. Probably, like I told you, you might be experiencing happiness while doing this because it's just colorful and cold ice. Or it's anger because you have so many thoughts in your mind, and like we said, we are going to melt down our worries. Sadness, calm, surprise, it could be anything. Remember that it is your individual experience, so feel free to adapt these instructions according to the needs and preferences which you feel comfortable with. You need to enjoy the creative and the therapeutic journey of this ice painting. Keep going until you're tired or you just feel that this is something I want to stay with and I want to continue the process. And even if you feel that you do not want to sit with your artwork and do not want to find symbols and don't want to think how do you feel about it, that is completely all right. You just have to be in the moment. You can use other art materials like a pen or colors or sketch pens or anything if you want to add some symbols or designs to it. Here you see that I have used black pens to make some waves because something was going in my mind, and I realized that along with ice painting I also want to give some symbols to my thoughts, which is waves, like how my thoughts are traveling. Right, so it's completely your choice. And while painting, while going through the ice, you can also hold the ice really tightly in your hands, feel the temperature, and then keep going. Have that sensory experience of how the ice feels in your hands. Once you're done, sit, take a deep breath in and exhale. One more time, take a deep breath in and exhale. Be in the moment. Imagine and see and reflect on what you have done. How did you feel about it? Just be in the moment and relax. Thank you. So the next activity which we are going to do is Zentangles, for which you would be requiring a pencil, a pen, black pen, a felt tip pen or scale, and a surface which is a paper or a canvas. Usually, traditionally, the Zentangles are small squares created with 3 by 3 inches, but you can make the size according to your preference. If desired, lightly draw a simple border or divide your paper into sections using pencil lines, and do not use pen because we have to keep it very light. This helps in providing the structure and organization to our Zentangle designs, but it is not necessary. Usually, like I said, it should be 3 by 3 inches. So with very light hands, you draw a square. And you can take any paper, any color of your choice. But the recommendation of pen is usually black. But yes, like it's your preference, so you can take any color. We start by creating a string. Using a pencil, draw a random curvy lines or shapes within one of the 3 by 3 inch paper square. This line will act as a string and serve as a guide for your Zentangle patterns. Make sure the lines are so light that they are hardly visible. Like you can see, it's very light when you see it here, right? So you have to go very light-handed and just let your hand flow, and wherever it is taking you, make the strings. We begin with the tangle pattern 1. Inside the first section of your string, choose a tangle pattern to start with. Tangle patterns can be repetitive. It could be structured designs that form on the basis of the Zentangles. There are numerous tangle patterns available online. You can go for Google search or Pinterest and you'll find a lot of designs. Apart from that, you can also doodle. You can make smileys, stars, triangles, curves, anything of your choice. There are numerous tangle patterns available, but it's always preferred to create your own because that's where your creativity allows you to concentrate more. Start by drawing the patterns within every section, following the shape of the string. Keep going until the one section of the string is complete. Now move on to the adjacent section of your string, adding different tangle pattern in each section. Allow yourself to explore various patterns by filling the spaces with lines or curves, dots, or any other form of pattern you would like to, repetitive marks that make up the tangle patterns. Do not think about that the lines are not symmetrical, it's going untidy, or I want to do it again. The reason why we are using pen directly and not pencils is to embrace the imperfectionisms within us. We are going to embrace the mistakes as the opportunities. Remember that there are no mistakes in Zentangles. If you feel like you made an unintended mark or pattern, embrace it and incorporate it into your design. Zentangles are about embracing imperfections and allowing them to contribute to the overall composition. Remember that you need to focus on one section at a time. Take your time and focus on one section, and you work through that particular string only. So here, because I did not want to make a proper structure or a pattern, so I opted to make smileys over here because I'm happy doing this workshop with you. So something which came in my mind as a pattern was a smiley. So yeah, any pattern can be right. Taking your time and focusing on one section at a time and working through the string helps you to stay present and fully engaged in the creative process. Keep going until the pattern is complete, until all the strings you have made are complete, and until we come up with a final project. Adding shades and colors is always optional. It's not always specific to use black. If desired, you can add shading and coloring to your Zentangle designs. Use markers or colored pencils or any other medium to add depth and dimension to your patterns. Shading can be done by adding darker areas to one side of each pattern, creating a sense of light and shadow probably. Keep going. It might take a lot of time for you, but then it is one of the best activities you can do to relax your mind, distract your mind in a healthier manner, and sit with yourself. We are going to complete this 3 by 3 inches box and complete all the strings which I have made. You see, the lines of pencils are so light that when I'm making the patterns from the black pen, the lines are hardly visible to us, and it looks like a one clear big project. Once you are almost towards the end of making the Zentangle, if you want to erase the lines remains of the pencil, you can always do that. But you have to be cautious that it do not smudge or damage the ink patterns, so you do not get dissatisfied with your work. Take a moment to reflect on your completed Zentangle once it's done. Observe the patterns, textures, the designs. Appreciate the meditative and creative process which you engaged in. You need to remember that there is no right or wrong ways to create a Zentangle. The goal is to enjoy the process, embrace the simplicity, and allow yourself to explore and express your creativity freely. So you need to have fun with your Zentangle journey and do not have to look for the perfectionisms and perfect patterns. So once you're done, a Zentangle would look something like this. Sit with it, see what thoughts are coming, how do you feel about it. Think about the whole process and just breathe. Breathe and take a moment. I will also show you different ideas of how you can make Zentangles from my previous work. So these are some patterns which you can use when you make a Zentangle for yourself. You can find these designs online on any web page, Pinterest or Google for a reference if you get stuck. These are some ideas of how Zentangle looks like. Here the pencil strings are little clear. You can also go with different shapes. If not square, you can make a circle, divide the circle into pizza slices and always complete one slice every day. Thanks. I really hope you found the activities insightful and interesting to practice. I would really like to discuss some benefits of ice painting and Zentangles, which we just did. So these art techniques help in emotional release, number one, which is very, very important. Ice painting allows individuals to express their emotions creatively, and as the ice melts and paint spreads, it can symbolize the release and transformation of emotions. It's beautiful. This process can provide a cathartic and expressive outlet for you to communicate your feelings, reduce emotional tension, and promote emotional well-being, which you usually cannot do in front of children, your partner. Probably your children are too young for this, or probably they're too busy in their lifestyles, they're married, or they doesn't stay near you, right? Again, next, mindfulness and focus. Engaging in ice painting and Zentangles require a level of concentration and focus when we practice it. And we apply the paint to the ice and observe its transformation or fill the sections with different patterns in Zentangles. We practice mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. This can promote relaxation, reduce stress, enhance overall mental well-being. It also works as a symbolic representation for us. Now, this is something very interesting here. The melting ice and the act of painting can serve as a symbolic representation in art therapy. It can symbolize the transit nature of emotions, the process of transformation and growth, or the release of inner conflicts. The symbolic aspects can deepen the therapeutic experience and facilitate the reflection and insight that we have. For example, while painting or drawing, you might come across or meet a negative thought which have been taking a toll over your mental health since long, or you symbolize a particular pattern with a particular emotion, like drawing this particular pattern. I'm feeling rage, I'm feeling anger, I'm happy, I'm calm, I'm feeling pleasure, I'm feeling irritated, or I'm feeling frustrated. Absolutely. It is important to emphasize that art therapy is not a substitute for professional counseling or seeking help when needed, obviously. While art therapy can be a valuable therapeutic tool, it is not a standalone solution for addressing complex psychological or emotional issues. Art therapy, under the guidance of a trained art therapist, can provide a supportive and a creative space for self-expression, self-exploration, personal growth, addressing mental health illnesses. It can facilitate insight, promote relaxation, and enhance overall well-being, right? However, when individuals are dealing with significant mental health concerns, trauma, or intense emotional distress, it is actually crucial to seek support for a licensed mental health professional. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, attending this session with patience and love. And once again, I would really appreciate you, and I would like to say that no matter how difficult the journey has been, but you are doing amazing. And yes, you have to remember that seeking professional help is a sign of strength and self-care. It allows you to deepen your understanding of personal self and provide access to appropriate intervention so you can live your life happily. So it's okay that you're a mother, you have a lot of responsibilities, but it's also important to take charge of your life. So yeah, thank you so much for being part of this workshop today, and all the very best. I hope you keep practicing ice painting and Zentangles and reach out to help whenever necessary. Thank you and have a good day.